Good evening one and all. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we will be seeing environment-based current affairs from the date August 11th to August 17th, 2023. Let us get into the news articles one by one. World Elephant Day. This is the first news for the day. That is World Elephant Day. When is this World Elephant Day observed? What is its significance? And all those details we must have to understand. And in this particular topic, we'll be seeing in greater detail about the elephants, the initiatives taken for elephant conservation in India, and all those details we'll be handling. And we'll also give special focus to mic sites. Okay, what are mic sites? We'll understand in a short while. Okay. World Elephant Day. Recently, on the occasion of World Elephant Day, the Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, he has highlighted various initiatives and accomplishments in India's elephant conservation journey. Okay, so the minister has highlighted various initiatives and accomplishments that India has made so far in elephant conservation journey, and this World Elephant Day is observed globally on August 12th every year. This is to raise awareness about the critical challenges faced by elephants and also for advocating for their protection and conservation. Okay, so this is the main aim for observing this day. Let us get into the details. Elephant is a national heritage animal of India. We all know that our national animal is tiger, but elephant is our heritage animal. Okay, so our national heritage animal is elephant. Next, elephants are considered as keystone species. Okay, so what is keystone species? In many places we have encountered this particular term, that is keystone species. What is keystone species? These are the species which will have a greater impact on its environment, and also its interaction with other organisms are very unique. Okay, so they play a critical role in maintaining the balance and health of the forest ecosystem. That is why they are called as keystone species, and elephant is one such keystone species because they tend to disperse a lot of seeds in the forest so that there will be growth of more trees in the forest. Okay, next, India has the largest number of wild Asian elephants. Okay, such facts are very important for your prelims and also for your mains. India has the largest number of wild Asian elephants. Okay, Asian elephants estimated at 29,964, approximately 30,000 according to 2017 census by Project Elephant. Okay, so what is this Project Elephant? We'll understand that in greater detail in upcoming slides. And this number, it accounts for 60% of the elephants' global population. Okay, of which elephant? Asian elephants global population. Of the total population in the world, 60% is in India only. And then when we come to states, Karnataka has the highest number of elephants, followed by Assam and Kerala. Okay, so such details are very important for your prelims examination. Next, conservation status. What is its conservation status? First, we will see the conservation status under IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature. Under that, you have African elephants and also Asian elephant. Under African elephants, you have two categories, that is African forest elephant and African savanna elephant. And this African forest elephant is critically endangered, whereas savanna elephant is endangered. Likewise, Asian elephant is also endangered under IUCN classification. Next, Wildlife Protection Act of India, 1972 Act. This act keeps Asian elephant under Schedule 1, which means higher priority is given for its conservation. Okay, so these details are important. Next, so this is that Asian elephant and that is African elephant. There are certain differences between the two. We no need to get into those details here. Basic difference, like it will have a humped back, but then here a curve like thing will be there in African elephants. Moreover, in African elephants, both male and female will be having the tusk, whereas in Asian elephants, only male elephants will be having the tusk. Okay, so such basic differences are there when it comes to Asian and African elephants. Next, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. This is yet another conservation status, that is CITES conservation status. Under this, African savanna elephant is kept under Appendix 2, and then Asian elephant is kept under Appendix 1. Okay, so when it is Appendix 1, higher priority is given to it. Next, Convention of Migratory Species. Is elephant a migratory species? Yes, elephant is also a migratory species because they have this tendency of traveling a long distance in search of their food, and also they will be covering a long distance as their habitat. Okay, they will be having large area as their habitat. Okay, so African forest elephant is under Appendix 2 of this particular convention, and Asian elephant is under Appendix 1. We will be studying in detail about this particular convention in today's session. Okay, about this convention of migratory species. This convention is also called as Bonn Convention because it took place the first, it was devised at Bonn, Germany. Okay, so we'll be seeing greater details of this in this particular session itself. Next, what are the initiatives and accomplishments made by India in elephant conservation? First thing is Project Elephant. We all know Indian government has launched Project Elephant in the year 1992, covering 23 states across India. And because of this initiative, the population of elephant has considerably increased from 25,000 in the year 1992 to around 30,000 in the year 2021. So this is a great thing which they are doing. Other than that, we also have elephant reserves. We have 33 elephant reserves covering approximately 80,777 square kilometer. And then we also have, these reserves play a crucial role in safeguarding wildlife elephants, wild elephants population and their habitats. So that is where these elephant reserves help. We have 33 elephant reserves. What other initiatives do we have? Next is community participation and empowerment. Okay, so there are certain programs like Gaj Yatra program, Gaj Shilpi initiative. Here Gaj refers to the elephant. Okay, so Gaj Yatra program and Gaj Shilpi initiative, which will involve people to raise awareness about elephant conservation. Other than that, we also have a particular award given for elephant conservation, that is Gaj Gaurav Award. It is given to individuals and also to organizations who are doing who have done exemplary contributions to elephant conservation and management. Okay, so that is Gaj Gaurav Award. Next, addressing elephant-human conflict. Okay, so this man-animal conflict or human-animal conflict is a major concern in today's, recently we are seeing a lot of news regarding this human-animal conflict, and to address this we have established 40 elephant corridors and 88 wildlife crossings for elephant. Okay, so this will reduce conflict for sure. And then there is also buffer zone created around the protected area, and this will also reduce the conflict between human and the elephant. Okay, so these are the initiatives that are taken. What other initiatives do we have? Hathi Mere Saathi. Okay, what is this Hathi Mere Saathi? It was a campaign which was launched by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Current Affairs. Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And it was done in partnership with Wildlife Trust of India. Okay, so these two organizations has launched this particular campaign called Hathi Mere Saathi. Okay, so here Hathi refers to the elephant. Next, the campaign was launched at Elephant 8. What is this Elephant 8? It is a group of countries, 8 countries which are there for elephant conservation, okay, who have gathered for elephant conservation, and in its ministerial meeting which held in Delhi in the year 2011, they have launched this particular campaign. And what is this Elephant 8? What are the 8 countries here? It is India, Botswana, Republic of Congo, Indonesia, Kenya, Sri Lanka, Tanzania and Thailand. Okay, so all these details are important for your prelims. Next, what is the aim of this particular initiative, that is E8 or Elephant 8? It is to increase awareness among people and to develop friendship, companionship between people and elephants. This is the aim of this E8 and Hathi Mere Saathi. Okay. Next, what are the international agreements and protocols which India has signed with respect to elephant conservation? First thing is, India has participated in international conferences like Conference of Parties under CITES. Okay, CITES we already saw, right? Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species of Flora and Fauna. So under this you have Conference of Parties, and India will be attending those Conference of Parties. That is one thing. And there is another thing that I have mentioned, MIC sites. Okay, so what is this MIC? Monitoring of Illegal Killing of Elephants program. That is MIC program, and this MIC program was established by CITES, the same CITES that we are mentioning here. Okay, in Conference of Party in the year 1997, they adopted a resolution called 10.10. Okay, so resolution 10.10 or 10.10, you can name it like that. So resolution 10.10, which has been adopted during this Conference of Party in the year 1997, and this Conference of Party is under CITES. Okay, they have developed this particular program called Monitoring of Illegal Killing of Elephants program, or shortly MIC program. Okay, so it is for monitoring illegal killing of elephants. Okay, and this program was started in South Asia in the year 2003, and the main purpose of this particular program in South Asia is to provide information needed for elephant range states, and also to build institutional capacity within the range states for long-term management of elephant population. So these are the main objectives of this MIC program. What are all the MIC sites do we have in India? Those details we must have to know. In India, we have these 10 MIC sites. See here, in Assam we have 2, Dihing Patkai and then Chirang Ripu, and then in Arunachal Pradesh you have Deomali, and in Meghalaya you have Garo. So these four are northeast. These 4 are in northeast states. And then come to the bottom 3, Mysore, Nilgiri and Wayanad. These are in South India, in the state of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. And then in East India, you have Eastern Duars and Mayurbhanj. Eastern Duars is in West Bengal and Mayurbhanj is in Odisha. So this covers the east part. And then Shivalik you have, that is in Uttarakhand. Okay, so this is in the north. So these are the 10 MIC sites which is there in India. Okay, so let us see this in the map of India. See, you have in the south you have Mysore, Wayanad and Nilgiri. Nilgiri is in Tamil Nadu, Mysore Karnataka and Wayanad Kerala. Next, in Assam we saw 2, right? One is Dihang Patkai and then another is Chirang Ripu. Okay, so these 2 are in Assam, and then in Arunachal Pradesh you have Deomali, and then in Meghalaya you have Garo. So these 4 will cover the northeast part, and then in Eastern Duars is in West Bengal and Mayurbhanj is in Orissa. These 2 will cover the eastern part, and then Shivalik, which is in Uttarakhand, will be covering the northern part. So these are the 10 MIC sites in India which are there for elephant conservation. Okay, to avoid elephant killings, these sites are given importance. Next, we were talking about the Bonn Convention, right? That is Convention of Migratory Species. For conservation of migratory species, we have a particular convention called Bonn Convention. Okay, so we have to see about the details of this convention. Okay, Bonn Convention is the name of international treaty for conservation of migratory species. and it was adopted in Bonn, Germany in the year 1979, and it came into force in the year 1983. Okay, so all these years are also important. Okay, these details have also been asked in your prelims examination. Next, the aim of this Bonn Convention is to protect the migratory species of wild animals and their habitats, and it is the only global treaty. These statements are important. So this is the only global treaty concerning migratory species, and it works under the aegis of United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. Okay, so it works under the aegis of UNEP, and this is the only convention which is there for migratory species. Next, under this convention, there are legally binding agreements and also non-legally binding memorandum of understandings, and India has signed many memorandum of understandings at different years, in different years. So we'll see the details of that in upcoming slides. What are the MOUs, the non-legally binding MOUs that India has signed? Next is, there are two appendices under this Bonn Convention. First appendix is assessed as being danger of extinction throughout their range or some significant portion of their range. So there will be migrating species, right? It might either be terrestrial animals or birds, or it may even be aquatic animals. They will be having this adaptation called migration. Okay, so at winter times or at summer times, they will be migrating from one place to another in search of food, or even for breeding purposes they will be migrating. Okay, so when certain species are assessed as being danger of extinction throughout their range or in some significant portion of their range, they are kept under appendix 1. Okay, and this appendix 1 also specifies endangered species as those with higher risk of extinction in the wild in near future. Okay, next appendix 2, and under this appendix 2 there are species which need conservation through international agreements, and if such conservation efforts are taken, then surely it will benefit those species. So such species are kept under appendix 2. So these are the two appendices that we have under Bonn Convention. Next, there are 131 parties under Bonn Convention, and this is the logo of Bonn Convention. You have Florican and what is that? Dolphin you have. Okay. Next, the latest country to ratify CMS is Central African Republic. Okay, so Central African Republic is the country which has ratified CMS latest, that is on 1st September 2020. Okay, so there are in total 131 parties. The highest number of members are there in African continent, and it is followed by Europe. Okay, so such statements are also important. Next, India and Bonn Convention. How is India participating in Bonn Convention, and what are all the efforts that India is taking for conservation of migratory species? First thing, India has been part of Bonn Convention since 1983. That is when Bonn Convention came into force. Next, India has also launched National Action Plan for the conservation of migratory species under Central Asian Flyway. So this Central Asian Flyway becomes important here. So India comes under Central Asian Flyway for migratory species of birds here. Okay. Next, India had non-legally binding MOUs, as I said in one of our previous slides, that India has signed few non-legally binding memorandum of understandings, and these are for certain species like Siberian cranes, which was signed in 1998, marine turtles 2007, dugongs in 2008, and for raptors in the year 2016. These are the memorandum of understandings which was signed between India and the convention, that is the Bonn Convention. Okay, so these species name and the year is important. Even if you don't remember the year, the species are important. Next, India will be the president of COP to Bonn Convention till 2023. So generally, the conference of party will be happening at least once in 3 years. So once in 3 years at least it will be happening. And in the year 2020, India hosted the Conference of Party, which held at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. Okay. So that was Conference of Party 13. And the theme of this particular 13th session of Conference of Parties to the Convention was migratory species connected to planet and together we welcome them home. Okay, so this was the theme of the 2020 Conference of Party, also called as the 13th Conference of Parties to Bonn Convention. Next, there was a mascot used for this particular Conference of Party in the in 2020, that is Great Indian Bustard. Okay, earlier Great Indian Bustard was not included in the migratory species, but after this convention, this particular bird, okay, Great Indian Bustard was included in migratory species. Okay, this Great Indian Bustard is a state animal of Rajasthan. Okay, so these details are important. Next, what are all the key highlights of this particular Conference of Party 13 of Bonn Convention? First is 10 migratory species were added to this convention in this Conference of Party, and of these 10 migratory species, 7 species were added in Appendix 1, which means they are endangered species. They are given more importance for conservation. What are they? Asian elephant. We already saw that Asian elephant is under this convention. Next, we also have jaguars, Great Indian Bustard. This is the mascot which was used. Okay. It is, mascot is nothing but a representative animal. Okay, a doll of that animal will be used, or the picture of that animal will be used in the logo and other such things. That is called as mascot. Okay. Next, Bengal florican you have. Next, little bustard. Then Antipodian albatross, and then oceanic white-tip shark. These are the 7 species which are kept under Appendix 1 of the migratory species, okay, of this convention. Next, we also have Gandhinagar Declaration. What is this Gandhinagar Declaration? Since this Conference of Party was happening, this Conference of Party 13 was happening at Gandhinagar, they have made a declaration which emphasizes the importance of migratory species conservation. Okay, so its conservation will be given importance. Okay, so new global biodiversity strategy. It will be considered as a new global biodiversity strategy, this conservation of migratory species. That is what this declaration is saying. Next, the next topic for the day is flying fox. What is this flying fox and why is it in the news? In a recent study conducted by scientists from the Center of Ecological Sciences in Indian Institute of Science and Wildlife Institute of India, WII, they have found that this particular animal, that is flying fox, which is India's largest bat species. So it is a bat. Flying fox is not a fox, but it is a bat. Okay, so India's largest bat species, and it has given a new dimension for researchers. What is that? Beyond its nocturnal activities. So from this we are coming to the understanding that it is a nocturnal animal, which means it will be active only after nocturnal. Okay, only after the sun sets. It will be active only after the sunset. That is why it is called nocturnal. So beyond its nocturnal activities, these flying foxes are spending a notable portion of their day roosting. What is roosting here? Roosting means sleeping time or resting time. Okay, you can consider it to be sleeping time or resting time. So a considerable portion of their sleeping time is spent for environmental vigilance. So this is the unique characteristic of behavior which is being exhibited by this particular fox. Okay, that is flying fox, the bat species. Okay, so what is its importance? We will have to understand. And what does the study have to say? This is that flying fox. Okay, since it has this fox like face, it has been named as flying fox. Otherwise it is a bat species. Okay, the study unveiled that this vigilant behavior during the daylight roosting, and it has dedicated about 7% of their resting time to watch for dangers which is contrary to their nocturnal nature. Generally they are nocturnal, but then they are spending approximately 7% of their resting time for this environmental vigilance. So this study also classifies two types of vigilance or distinguishes two types of vigilance. First thing is social vigilance and the second one is environmental vigilance. How are they going to distinguish it? Social vigilance means observing nearby individuals for conflicts. That is social vigilance. So they are observing any species or animal is observing nearby individuals for any conflicts. That is social vigilance. Next is environmental vigilance, which means watching for signs of danger in the surroundings. Are there any signs of danger in the surrounding? That is what is environmental vigilance, and this particular bat species is doing environmental vigilance. 7% of its daylight time or daylight roosting time is being spent for this environmental vigilance, and this has been studied recently. Okay, and these bat species are keystone species again, just like the elephants. These are also keystone species, which means it will be having a greater impact on other animals along which it is living. Okay, with which it is living. Okay, so they are fruit eating animals, and because of this particular habit of fruit eating, they contribute significantly to pollination and seed dispersal. Okay, after eating the fruit, the seeds will be dispersed in its feces. Okay, so from that there will be pollination. It will also lead to pollination and seed dispersal. How will it help in pollination? Because it is going to consume the nectar of the flowers. Okay, so that is also there. So it plays a vital role in maintaining ecosystems health and biodiversity. So all these points are important with respect to this flying fox. Other than that, it is a remarkable species which is native to Indian subcontinent, and it is characterized by large size and fox-like facial features. Okay, so it is a large bat species, just like we saw in that previous thing. It is a large bat species, and it also has fox-like facial features, and the male ones are generally larger than the females in this particular bat species. Next, what is its geographic range? It is there in tropical regions of South Central Asia, from Pakistan to China, and as far as south, in even in Maldives Islands you can see these flying foxes. Next, what is its conservation status? Under CITES, it is kept under Appendix 2, and under Wildlife Protection Act of India, it is kept under Schedule 2, which means lesser importance is given for its conservation. Next is, do these flying foxes have any negative impact? Yes, they are considered as vermin species. Okay, they are considered as a pest because they are causing extensive damage to fruit orchards. Okay, fruit orchards are damaged and they are eaten by these foxes. So this is one thing. Other than that, what other negative effect does it have? It is also speculated to be responsible for spreading diseases like Nipah virus. Okay, so these Nipah virus cause illness and death in humans. So that is the reason why this is important. Next is Amazon Summit. Okay, this Amazon Summit was organized by Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization, which is an international organization which aims for promotion of sustainable development of Amazon basin. And in this summit, there is a country in South America, that is Colombia. This country has proposed 80% of Amazon should be protected from deforestation and degradation by 2025, but this proposal was not accepted by other members of this organization. This is one point. Other than that, scientists for a very long time have been warning that if the combined deforestation and degradation of Amazon crosses 20 to 25% of the threshold, then the forest could reach irreversible tipping point, which means it may result in a dieback of the entire ecosystem. This has been warned by the scientists for many years now, and thus they have created this organization and all. But then this proposal, which was proposed by Colombia, has not been accepted in this particular summit. That is why it is in news. And where is this Amazon located? Its locational features also we must have to understand. Other than that, we also have this particular declaration called Belém Declaration, which gives importance or which recognizes the indigenous knowledge. Okay, so it is giving indigenous knowledge and it is augmenting the participation of indigenous people in decision making and public policy formulation process. Okay, so if it is Belém Declaration, what is it related to? It is related to Amazon Summit or Amazon forest conservation, and it focuses on recognizing indigenous knowledge. Okay, Amazon rainforest. These are tropical rainforests which occupy the drainage basin of Amazon River and also its tributaries in South America, in the northern part of South America, which covers nearly 6 million square kilometer. Okay, which is a very huge area. Okay, 6 million square kilometer, this rainforest is spread. Okay, so this rainforest is also called as the lung of the earth. Okay, it has this nickname. Next, it comprises about 40% of the Brazil's total area. 40% of Brazil's total area. And what are its boundary? It is bounded by Guyana Highlands in the north, Andes Mountain in the west, Brazilian Central Plateau in the south, and Atlantic Ocean to the east. Okay, so let us see this in the map of South America. See, this is that Amazon, the green patch here shown is the Amazon rainforest. So it is bounded by the Guyana Highlands in the north, and then Brazilian Central Plateau in the south, Atlantic Ocean in the east, and the Andes Mountain in the west. Okay, so locational features are also important. Next is temporal development of ecosystem. Like I've said in one of our previous session, in the last session, I said that we'll be seeing one basic concept of environment in each and every class, and in today's class we are going to see what is temporal development of ecosystem. Okay, so this is not something which is in the news or which is in the current affairs, but these are basics of environment. So any ecological system will take a gradual sequence to evolve. Okay, so it will take a gradual sequence of time to evolve. This word temporal itself means time. Okay, so with time it is developing. What is developing? Ecosystem is developing. Ecological system is developing. So what is ecology here? Ecology means interaction between animals, one organism and another organism, and also the interaction between the organism and the environment. Okay, so together these interactions are called as ecology, and that as a system is called as ecological system or ecosystem. Okay, so this temporal development of ecological system is called as succession. So the key term here or the technical term here is succession. There are two types of succession. One is primary and the other is secondary. Let us understand it. So when life begins in a lifeless habitat, it is called as primary succession. Okay, so there is no life in a particular habitat, it is only rock over there. If life happens there for the first time, that is called as primary succession. Okay, consider this to be a barren land. There is no life in this land for now. Okay, for hundreds of years there is no life in this particular land, but now if any organisms grow here, then that is called as primary succession, and this primary succession will always be natural. Primary succession cannot be man-made or it cannot be anthropogenic. Okay, next is, there are two ways in which this primary succession will develop. Okay, first thing is divergent evolution and the second thing is convergent evolution. We have seen this this differentiation between divergent evolution and convergent evolution in one of our previous session. Let us understand here briefly. Okay, so it will be having similar beginning and later differentiation. These are the key words which you have to use for divergent evolution. So the species or the organisms will be having similar beginning, but later it will be differentiated. See, when genetically similar organisms are subjected to different stress and opportunity, okay, so they are subjected to different stress and opportunity, they tend to adapt to different conditions accordingly. That is called as divergent evolution, and the best example for this is human race. Okay, we as humans, we are genetically similar. All humans in this world are genetically similar, but then we have different race among human beings. That is, you have Caucasoid race, you have Mongoloid race and Negroid race and other things. Okay, next, convergent evolution. What is convergent evolution? The key words here are different beginning subjected to same adaptation. Okay, different beginning subjected to same adaptation. See this, when genetically different organisms, here it is genetically similar organisms subjected to different stress and opportunity, but here it is genetically different organisms which are subjected to similar stress and opportunity. So it will adapt to similar conditions commonly, and such evolution is called as convergent evolution. So you must know the difference between these two evolution types. Okay, and the best example for this is bats and birds. Okay, they both have wings, whereas bats are mammals, and then these are avian species. Birds are avian species. Okay, so these two have wings, but they are genetically different. Since they are subjected to similar stress and opportunity, they have developed this particular common feature called wings. Okay, this is called as convergent evolution. So this is how primary succession will be happening. Next, we have to understand further more details about primary succession. In primary succession, organisms and their interactive relations among them, that is ecology, right? So, and also with their surroundings, will be developing in a gradual course of sequence. So it will be happening little by little, and these developmental stages are called as serrae or seral stages. This is important. These terms are important. Okay, so these developmental stages are called as seral stages or serrae stages. Okay, next, in the first serrae stage or the pioneer serrae stage, the diversity of the biotic community and the interactions will be very less. Okay, or very sparse. So in the first stage, the diversity will be very less, and when the stages move one by one to the next stage, then there will be complexity in links, and there will also be greater diversity. Okay, so when more such serrae or developmental stages pass by, there will be more diversity and thus complexity in links. Next, when a given habitat reaches ultimate diversity, so with respect to diversity only we are classifying this. So when there is ultimate diversity, then that is called as climax community. So these terms are important. So what is a climax community? What are seral stages? These terms are important. Seral stages are developmental stages, and climax community is the community which has the highest or the ultimate diversity. Next, so this is how the succession happens. This is for primary succession. Initially you have pioneer species. See, here you have bare rock, then lichens come, and then other small plants and lichens will be growing, then grasses and perennials will be growing, then grasses, shrubs and shade intolerant trees will be growing, and then shade tolerant trees will be growing. So this will be the climax community, and it is heading towards the climax community, which means it is heading towards ultimate diversity. So this is how the stages happens, and this happens over hundreds of years. This will not happen in few years, but it will happen over hundreds of years. Okay, next you have secondary succession. So what is secondary succession? When the climax community is destructed and there is fresh beginning of life, then it is called as secondary succession. Okay, you have reached climax community. From nothing you have got plenty, you have the ultimate diversity. But when that ultimately diverse community is going to face destruction, that is called as secondary succession. Okay, when that climax community is destructed, and after that destruction, if fresh beginning of life is going to happen, then that is called as secondary succession. And then this secondary succession can be both natural or human induced. This is important. And if it is natural, any active volcanic cone, an example for natural succession, secondary succession. That is, there can be an active volcanic cone which has been dormant for many years, but then suddenly after hundreds of years it is going to erupt. Okay, so during these hundreds of years there would have been developmental stages, that is primary succession would have taken place at this, around this volcano, but then after volcanic eruption there will be destruction of climax community, and then after that there will be fresh beginning of life, and that is called as secondary succession here. So this is a natural process. It can also be human induced. We saw that secondary succession can be human induced also. Best example for this is colonial settlers cleared equatorial rainforest in Malaysia. These equatorial rainforests can be equated to climax community here. Okay, it would have passed all the developmental or series stages and reached this climax community, and when this climax community is destructed and it is substituted with a rubber plantation. So this is human induced. See, they are going to substitute equatorial rainforest with rubber plantation. This will be a fresh beginning. Okay, so the diverse climax community is destroyed and then it is planted with rubber plantation, which will be fresh beginning of life there. So this is also different type of succession, that is secondary succession. Okay, so these are the differences between primary succession and secondary succession. This topic is very important from your mains answer writing point of view. Okay, so with this we have come to end of today's session. I hope you liked the session. Like and share the video. Thank you all.